let's address, I don't know if it's the elephant in the room or whatever, but let's address Megacap, okay? Did the game in any way, Josh, change for Megacap stock performance yesterday with this apparent pivot, that's what people are calling it, by Powell? The rate trajectory is now lower.
Yeah.
Did the game change yesterday? The goalposts move at all for that trade?
I think one of the things we've learned in the post-financial crisis period, we now have like a decade and a half of history. One of the things we've learned is that in periods of time where there is doubt about overall economic growth, these are the stocks that catch a bid and tend to lead the markets, both on the way up and they go down less than the overall market. And there's a good reason for that. They have secular growth, or maybe they used to, more so than they will now, given how big they are. But there were market environments where there were serious concerns about global growth or U.S. growth, or why can't the Fed stoke any inflation whatsoever? Why are we fighting disinflation? We had inverted yield curve in 2019, way before COVID, and these stocks were leading. Because when you have growth and growth is scarce, you're worth more to the investing public and they will bid your stock up. If the game is now going to change and we're not hung up on the recession starts next week, no, the week after, no, the week after that, and we think there's a path for overall economic growth, it makes less sense to bid up the Mag 7 because they won't be the only growth in town. So that's the way that I think about these stocks. They get more coveted when no one else can grow. If other stocks, other sectors have their own growth story, they're less coveted and therefore should shrink in proportion to the overall market.
That was kind of Rob Gundlach's point too. It's not like he doesn't think stocks, can do well. It's just, quote, I think you want equal weight rather than market cap weighted at this juncture. He's speaking directly of Mag 7. The multiple expansion that we've seen there. Apple, new record high today, but you saw the others on the list. There are several that are selling off just a little bit. Reiterated sector weight at KeyBank is Apple. A lot of the other names talked about almost on a daily basis. The stocks have just done incredibly well. I'll ask you the same question, though. Did the game change in any way yesterday?
I think if it hasn't, it's going to. We've been overweight tech all year. We're evaluating that right now. It's tough to evaluate it in December. As you're approaching year end, you've got a lot of clients that have huge embedded gains in these names, and even just resizing the positioning. I'll give you an example. We bought Broadcom in April. Okay, Broadcom has been such an unbelievable performer.
Record high today, by the way.
And it's also
reiterated overweight, $1,200 the target at KeyBank.
And it's also become our second largest position in very short order because of that performance. I think people have to pay attention as they go into next year about exactly what Josh talked about, which is where am I going to get the funds if they're not coming from cash and I don't want to increase equities? You're going to reallocate within equities. And so I do think there's this catch up. I think there's going to be beneficiaries beyond the Magnificent Seven, and you should be prudent. It doesn't mean you have to run from them. I think that would be foolish as well. These are companies that are some of the best businesses in the world, but you have to right size them.
Speaking of non-Mag 7 tech, Qualcomm overweight, 145 at KeyBank. That's a 52-week high today for that stock.
Yeah, I mean, this dovetails exactly with what Josh and Rob were just saying. And let me point out a data point that may seem arcane, but it actually matters. South Korean exports are up heavily. Okay, what does that mean? You think South Korea is exporting lettuce? No, they're exporting semiconductor chips. And this is semiconductor outside of AI. This
I was going to guess kimchi.
That was pretty good.
Go ahead.
All right, but these are semiconductor chips outside of AI. These are mobile phone. These are automotive. This is Internet of Things. It's even laptops. Okay, it's clear that the cycle has turned for mobile, which is helping Qualcomm. It's also never turned down for automotive, which is why NXP and Qualcomm are doing well.
AMD, Josh, yours top pick for the first half of next year at Rosenblatt. 52-week high again. Price target $200.
I mean, this is one that I don't own enough of. I typically buy a stock, and my assumption is I'll be wrong, it'll get cheaper. I consider that a form of schmuck insurance, just the way I carry myself generally in life. I shouldn't have done that here. I should have owned more. So now I got a stock that's up like 45% in a month, and I barely own enough to even get excited. So I don't really know how to answer your question or whether or not that does. I just wanted to share that because I think if I bottle it up, it doesn't do me any favors later in the day.
All right. I appreciate you letting that out. You feel better?
No.
Maybe you will after the break.